Hey everyone, and welcome to our new season, How I Healed From. This is a space where I share my personal journey through healing, from trauma, relationships, identity, and faith. Not from a place of having it all figured out, but from walking it slowly and honestly. If you've ever felt unseen, unheard, or unsure of your place in the world, you are not alone. Let's get into today's episode. Today's episode is a little deeper. I'm sharing part of my story from when I was very young and how those experiences continue to show up in my life in ways I didn't fully understand until much later. I won't be going into detail, but I do want to talk about the impact it had and what healing has looked like for me. So if this is something you've experienced too, or something that feels close to home, I just want you to know that you can take this at your own pace. I didn't fully understand how much my early childhood was affecting me until I saw it show up in my reactions as an adult. I mentioned briefly in the last podcast that there was a moment in a past relationship where I was told I was acting like a toddler during conflict. And at the time, that was pretty hard to hear, but it also opened something up for me because I realized I didn't even know that that was the way that I was responding. In that moment, I had shut down and gone to hide in my room because that felt safe for me. And that's when it clicked. Those words were exactly what I needed to hear to begin part of my healing journey. This wasn't just about what was happening in front of me right then in that moment or in previous conflicts earlier than this. This was coming from somewhere much earlier. In fact, from when I was a toddler. For most of my life, I didn't remember everything clearly, but I could feel it in how I reacted. I would get close to people and then withdraw the moment something felt off, whether it was doubt, loud noises, people's voices getting louder and angrier, if there was tension, or if I felt like someone was pulling away. Everything in me would start to shut down, and I would shut myself away in my room. Looking back now, I can see that a lot of the emotions I was carrying never really had a safe place to land, as I wasn't the only one that was going through those experiences at the time. Those emotions that I was carrying were just there, unspoken, unprocessed, and way too big for me to understand. When I was 3 years old, there were a couple of experiences in my life where I didn't feel safe. There was physical harm done to me, and there was conflict in my family that I didn't know how to process at that age. It always felt like it was a dream if it ever popped into my mind, and it was as though I was watching from another point of view. So growing up, I was unable to tell if it was real or not. And while I didn't have the words for it back then, my body remembered what had happened. And what that taught me, without even realizing, was that experiences like that weren't something you talked about. That they weren't something people helped you process. So for a long time, I kept everything to myself. As I got older, that showed up in my nervous system in ways I didn't understand. I would shut down quickly, I would hide, I would stay in my room, I would guard myself, and my body started to feel tense and tight and sore all of the time. I became very aware of people, watching how they responded, how they moved, their tone of voice, always trying to read the situation and stay one step ahead. And I noticed that I would place myself in rooms where I could see almost everything that was happening. This wasn't because I wanted to do these things, but because my body and my mind was trying to protect me from further harm. And I didn't even realize it was happening. The deeper realization came in early 2023. What I had thought was just a dream, I came to understand that it was actually something that had happened at kindergarten. This was the experience that always felt like I was watching it from a different point of view, like I was watching it happen to me. I don't know why it happened, and I don't remember what happened before that moment. I just remember where and what the event was, and that the other child that was with me that did the harm was angry. I do remember a teacher coming in to stop it, but that's all I remember. I don't remember anything that happened after or the reasoning for this event to happen. And when I realized this, I asked my mum if she knew, and she was only told that there was an incident with another child. She didn't even know the full extent of what had happened. And that was a turning point for me, because it made me realize something important. There was no way for me to get the help that I needed back then to process what had just happened or to have support to help me through it, because the people around me didn't fully know. And I didn't know how to speak about it. Healing for me has been a process, and it is still ongoing. It started with awareness, noticing my reactions in the moment and beginning to ask, where is this coming from? Instead of judging myself for shutting down, I started to recognize this is a younger part of me trying to stay safe. And that changed the way I've responded in those moments when I was triggered. Practically, healing has looked like slowing things down, letting myself feel what is coming up instead of pushing it away, even if it means I have to hold on to it until I am in a safe place like home to feel everything. And when I do get triggered, my first response now is to sit with it and talk to God, to process what happened, to ask questions, to work through the thoughts and emotions that come up, and to do my best to listen to the truth that He needs me to hear. And in doing that, I have been able to let go of a lot of blame and a lot of hurt. My faith has been a huge part of this, because there's a level of peace and understanding that I know I could not have reached on my own. That was only possible with and through God. As every time something comes up and I work through it, it draws me closer to Him. It has helped me to lean on Him and learn to trust Him in a way that I couldn't before. And it reminds me that I'm not working through this alone. Even if it had always felt that way due to those experiences, God was always there for me and is always there for me. I still get triggered by moments that have happened in my past, but what's different now is that I'm aware of it. I can recognize it a lot sooner, and instead of staying stuck in that, I see it as an opportunity to work through it and heal it. If I could speak to my 3-year-old self now, I would say this. This life you are about to live is going to be tough. And there will be times where you think that there is no way that you can get through it. No one to help you, and that you are alone in all of it. But honestly, Jamie, you are the strongest person I have ever met. And you have God to thank for that. He created you, your character, and your personality. And while He knew all of this would happen to you, He knew that ultimately making Himself known to you would be all you needed to still be here today. Without Him, this Jamie right now may not have made it this far. So, if you've experienced something early in life, I want you to know this. Your story and your experiences can be used to help other people. My hope in sharing my journey is that it may help even just one person. Sometimes just one person is all you need to begin to walk a different path and see things differently. And the way that you work through your healing journey is personal to you, but it is very important that you do it. Your body and mind aren't broken. They're just trying to protect you from having to experience that same kind of pain again. And healing doesn't mean that you're forgetting. It means overcoming. It means recognizing that this is a part of your story, but it doesn't have to define all of it. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to feel safe, and you are not alone in that process. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. If this brought anything up for you, I just want to remind you that you don't have to rush to figure it all out at once. Take your time. Sometimes healing looks like simply becoming aware and allowing yourself to sit with that safely and gently. Take whatever you need from this and just leave the rest for now. In the next episode, I'll be sharing more around my journey through fear and how that showed up in my life. You are not alone in this, and you don't have to walk through it all at once. I'll talk to you soon.